Hello and welcome to Archvelder's Hacks with Archvelder and his amazing hacks. And this video is all about the mysterious phenomena of the Invincible Tank. This is something that started in patch 7.2, and what's basically been happening is that in Battlegrounds and indeed other forms of player versus player combat, some players have glitched their characters so that they don't seem to be taking any damage at all. Now, reports have been appearing on the official and unofficial forums, and interestingly, Blizzard know about this and are actually trying to do something about it, and they haven't been able to isolate the cause of the problem for over a week. And Helinka himself described the problem as complicated when people were complaining about it. And for once, I actually agree with Helinka. It's a very complicated problem. Normally, when I make a video like this, I give you complete and step-by-step instructions as to what I've done, so you can repeat them yourselves. And in this case, it's not going to be possible to do that because the exact trigger is still unknown. Now, having said that, I have been able to isolate a number of common factors which will cause the invincibility glitch, and as you can see here, I managed to create the glitch on my Death Knight. That said, I cannot reproduce the glitch 100% of the time. So basically, if you want to pursue this, you're going to have to make a decision. Do I want to pursue this for possibly 5 or 6 hours, queuing random battlegrounds in the hope that it will happen? And if you don't want to put in that level of commitment, then I would really forget about this. It's just for those of you who really want to be invincible in battlegrounds. So this is essentially what I did. I observed that the reports that people were submitting to the bug report forums and the unofficial forums basically had commonalities concerning, firstly, obviously, all the classes in question had tank specs. There's an important caveat about that, which I'll cover in a minute. They all had tank specs, and there also seems to be a commonality that in most cases they stated that they were queuing as DPS, and then they were switching spec while in the battleground to tank spec. That does seem to be a common factor. Now, there's some other things that might be correlated with the emergence of this glitch and might not. And one of those things is, for example, some people mentioned resilience gear. These were players coming back to Warcraft after a long break, and their gear, this is a low-level battlegrounds, obviously, their gear had resilience on it, which is not something that's commonly used and probably doesn't interact that well with modern Legion mechanics. So I actually had some resilience gear. However, in many other cases, it was clear that people who had encountered the glitch were playing at max level and were very unlikely to have any resilience gear at all. Also, something that I had been doing was experimenting with gear switches. I was repeatedly gear switching at the starts of Battlegrounds, and that may have had some kind of impact. Now, if you actually get the glitch, and the exact trigger may be something completely random that no one will ever figure out, if you get your character glitched, and you will encounter a number of players who have encountered this glitch. It's probably something like 1 in 100 players I encounter in Battlegrounds at the moment have this glitch. If you do get it on your character, then what you want to do is avoid logging out at all costs, because once you've logged out, you will lose it. You are not actually invincible. You can take damage from falls, and you can take fall damage, physical fall damage. You can be stunned, and you can also die to NPCs. You will just take NPC damage normally. So don't go to Stormwind and try and kick ass, because you're going to look like an idiot, because the guards will kill you. Not that I tried that or anything. Now, there's another weird phenomena which is happening since 7.2 and I haven't seen mentioned anywhere, and that is if you leave a battleground when you're dead, when you're at the spirit healer, just as you're about to res and you quit the battleground, the option to resurrect will persist outside of the battleground. So it may be the invincibility glitch is something to do with a failure to process your death properly in some way. Now, when you're in the glitch state, you can change spec and the invincibility will persist. So there have been reports of DPS classes using this glitch, but they all seem to have had a tanking spec, and I believe that the glitch is much more likely to occur in tanking spec initially. Now, if you have to leave your computer for any reason, then you'll want to stay logged in, and you can do that with the anti-AFK macro that I'm going to download in the description below this video. Okay, just cut and paste that into your chat box. That should keep your character online, so you'll be able to keep your invincibility for as long as humanly possible. Now, I just wanted to cover a few other issues to do with this glitch. A lot of people were getting very indignant at the prospect of people, quotes, abusing this in PvP. First, let's make this completely clear. I don't think anybody, and I know some of the top exploiters in the world, and you know, I'm pretty good at this myself. No one I know of is using this deliberately. No one knows what the trigger mechanism is. I get sent stuff all the time, really fantastic exploits, really amazing stuff, and no one has sent me anything to do with this. And I'm pretty good at reverse engineering these things myself, and this has been the one case where I've devoted a great deal of time and have not been able to reverse engineer it. So when you encounter this, bear in mind that whoever this has happened to has not deliberately created the glitch. Okay, it's just random. Now, of course, there's a limit to the extent to which you can abuse it, where before it becomes griefing. I think if you're going to try and get rating, you're kind of asking for trouble with this. I mean, it's you know, obviously Warcraft would turn into a bit of a fuss if you know, high level PvP was dominated by this sort of thing. There is a limit. As you can probably tell from this video, I'm just screwing around with it. I'm having fun with it. Yeah, and I think to some extent the players in the battlegrounds, even on the opposite teams, they kind of enjoy the event, the spectacle. You know, maybe they even enjoy getting worked up about the whole issue. You know, this because this will be a battleground they'll remember. You know, they probably won't remember the dozen other battlegrounds they played today, just because, you know, it's something different, it's something interesting, and provided you know, you enhance that feeling of a sort of spectacle, an unusual event, something out of the ordinary. I think it's you know, it's always been my idea of what exploiting should be. It should be enhancing gameplay. It should be creating something really interesting and unusual for players. It shouldn't be just pissing people off for the sake of it. You know, it's not. This has never, to me, been about being antisocial and trying to make people miserable. It's always been a positive thing. So there's the hack. I hope you found it interesting. As I've said before, normally when I make videos like this, I take you through from start to finish, showing you how an exploit works and exactly what it does. I made a very rare exception in this particular case because of the unusual power and controversy associated with this particular exploit. I wanted to give you guys who wanted to pursue this some of the clues that leads to the treasure chest.